Sometimes you just have to let it all sink in, just to find out why. And that's why you haven't heard from me since the Eagles lost to Seattle Seahawks. Normally I do an instant reaction video, a couple live streams before Wednesday, but I just had to let it all sink in. Some of these things that I'm hearing, I just can't believe. It all has to do around Carson Wentz. All this centers around Carson Wentz. He is the leader of the team. He is the $100 million quarterback, which I've heard throughout the last couple weeks. And he is a guy that should be winning these type of games, the games that we lost against the Seattle Seahawks last week and the New England Patriots the week before. However, he should not be getting all the blame and all the bull crap that I'm hearing throughout the media and reading on the internet. And let's just talk about let's dive right in here. He had a horrible game against Seattle Seahawks. Let's not sugarcoat that, okay? There was a couple screens to Miles Sanders. He just completely overthrew him. I think he missed Ertz on a couple of overthrows. He had a really bad interception, had some bad reads. I mean, it was not a good game for Carson Wentz. Not every quarterback makes every throw. Let's just start there. I saw Russell Wilson miss a wide open, nobody around him, tight end in the end zone for 7. And this is Russell Wilson on his MVP year that he's having. So let's get that out of the way. Also, I'm hearing people say that Carson isn't a franchise quarterback. You want to trade him. Michael Vick said he's going to fail in Philadelphia. I've heard a bunch of we want Nick Foles back, which, look at Nick Foles' record in Jacksonville, it's not great, actually. He's only played 2 games this year, but I'm not going to talk about him. And it's just unwarranted. It really is unwarranted. I challenge everybody that's watching to find another quarterback who will win under these circumstances. The injuries, it's a thing. It's not an excuse, it's a thing. He's missing three starting running backs. One was having an amazing year, and the offense was just starting to go through him, and that's Jordan Howard. He's probably going to miss this week too. Corey Clement, who Wentz is very familiar with. Darren Sproles, who we should have never signed, but he is a part of the team and now is not. And let's go to this wide receiver mess that he has. Name another quarterback that can win with these guys. Alshon Jeffrey, out again, mysteriously. Nelson Aguilar, not much of a loss, but he's out again. You're missing Deshaun Jackson for the whole season. That's been well documented. You're left with J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. You're left with Jordan Matthews, who was released Monday. Mac Hollins, who hasn't caught a pass since September. And Greg Ward, who was just activated off the practice squad. Let me get on a spiel about Greg Ward. If you're looking to blame somebody for the recent struggles of the past 2 years, let's talk about Howie Roseman, because ever since that Super Bowl year, he has just not made good decisions. And I don't know if it's him. I don't know if it's the wide receivers coach who doesn't seem to have a clue, or if it's the offensive coordinator and Doug Peterson himself. But how do you have a guy like Greg Ward on the practice squad the entire year when you're struggling at wide receiver? You don't call him up. And then when he finally has to get called up, because literally there's just no other choice, he is the only one making plays and looks really good on the field. It doesn't make sense to me. To me, that's coaching. That's whoever is making these personnel decisions, how you let that happen. They let Jordan Matthews go on Monday because they want to keep Greg Ward on the main roster now. So let's get that out of the way. So besides the injuries to those positions, let's talk about the offensive line and how Sunday Carson Wentz had to play with 2 different variations of the offensive line, because in New England, after the first drive, your all-pro right tackle goes out to injury. Jason Peters goes out to injury in that game. You have Big V, who's getting his ass kicked at right tackle. So you think this week, why not put Andre Dillard in at right tackle? Even though, basically throughout the media, and it was the title of my last live stream, Andre Dillard said, learning right tackle is just like learning with the hand to write with the hand that you don't write with. As concerning as that was, it was absolutely true. He was so bad at right tackle that even KJ Wright of the Seattle Seahawks said they knew what plays that were going to be run before they were. And you want to know why? And Trey Thomas sent out a tweet earlier in the week, and it showed on the left of this picture, and I'll post it up, how on the left of this picture, look at how Andre Dillard is lined up. That is basically every time that they ran the ball. On the right, the way he's lined up is every time they were going to pass the ball. This is every time. So the defense already had a step ahead of Carson Wentz. And that both variations of the offensive line were horrible. I mean, Wentz was getting hit left and right in that football game, but for some reason, he's supposed to be Superman and still survive all of that. I mean, you got to be kidding me. You have to be kidding me. This is we're facing a Seahawks team where they're not, they're not the absolute greatest team right now, but they're a playoff team, a strong playoff team, one of the best in the league. And you're going completely undermanned on offense, but we expect our quarterback to just become Superman and make every single throw and put up 30 points against this team with the players that they have. And now let's talk about how inaccurate he's been. Yes, has Carson Wentz statistically been an inaccurate quarterback throughout the season? Absolutely. I go back to who he's playing with at wide receiver, and you can dive even deeper into that. Dan Orlovsky, a former quarterback. I remember he played for the Lions for a long time. He played 12 seasons in the NFL as quarterback. So whether he was a great quarterback or a bad quarterback, he knows what he's talking about. Put up an article about how it was one of the worst games he's ever seen a wide receiver corps play and how they were actually fooling their own quarterback. Elliott Shore-Parks can't stand him. He's been a Wentz hater. He's going to find every reason for you to hate Carson Wentz. Put up a horrible tweet about the ball that Carson, it was a 4th and 5 play to J.J. Arcega-Whiteside where Carson missed him. And it looks like it was Carson Wentz's fault. When you dig a little deeper, then even Bryce Treggs, a former wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles, posted a tweet up. This guy, Arcega-Whiteside, has been so uncoached and so poorly coached that instead of sitting on this route, as soon as Carson goes to throw, he hops to the left, so now the ball is inaccurate. I shared this article from Dan to a couple of my coworkers and to my father because me and my dad have been debating on Carson Wentz all year. And my dad said, it's just like, he said, well, look, it's like imagine being a pitcher and you're throwing an inaccurate pitch. And I'm saying, no, you're looking at it all wrong. Imagine that pitcher getting a sign from his catcher when as soon as he goes to throw the ball, the catcher moves to the right. So now you have a wild pitch. That's what they're doing to Carson Wentz. Greg Ward had a couple bad routes. These guys are not. And how can you not hesitate when you're seeing this on the field? But because people have a certain narrative about Carson Wentz, they just completely overlook all of that and just call him a bad quarterback and put all of this on him. To me, this is more on coaching, it's more on personnel than anything. So let's talk about some of the positives because I've gotten rid of all the negatives, okay? Positively, the defense is healthy and they are playing out of their mind right now. It's such a shame because the defense, when they were hurt, the offense was playing a little bit better, and now that the offense is completely decimated, the defense is finally healthy, and they're playing lights out. Russell Wilson did not have a Russell Wilson-type game. I think he was sacked 6 times. The secondary just looks completely different than they did earlier in the year. I mean, if you're going to tell me that Jalen Mills hasn't made a difference to this team, you're crazy. The line's getting a lot of pressure. I mean, they're just looking great. They're getting Cravon LeBlanc back this week. The defense, if there's anything to look forward to this last 5 games, if there's any reason to think that the Eagles could run the table this last 5 games, it is because of this defense. I do think that the Eagles' offense is going to dummy down a little bit. I pray that Doug Peterson sees what is going on and makes some adjustments. Jay Ajayi looked pretty good last week. Look, 50 passes to 18 runs when you have garbage at wide receiver, I just don't understand it, but they did it again last week. That's got to change. And I understand it's hard to run the ball when your offensive line is absolutely decimated. After a while, they're just going to throw 8 in the box. I'm trying to explain this to my father as well. You just can't run every play. But when it's 2nd and 3 or when it's 3rd and 3, why not give it to one of your backs, especially when Jay was looking pretty decent? I mean, just the whole offensive game plan, and why don't we do trick plays anymore? I mean, is the personnel that bad on the field that we can't even do a trick play, that we're getting burnt? That the only way that these offenses have scored against us the past couple weeks is by trick plays? We need to figure something out. We played the Miami Dolphins this year. They are a horrible, horrible, horrible team. If you cannot beat the Miami Dolphins, you might as well just fire everybody and forfeit the rest of the games because they are that bad of a football team. I do think that Carson's going to get his confidence back. I think he's going to have a better game Sunday than he's had the past couple weeks, obviously because of the competition. And you are getting guys like Arcega-Whiteside a little bit more reps. You do have a guy like Greg Ward who can catch the ball now in there. And hopefully they're starting to figure some stuff out. Even though, if you look at the injury report this week, again, who can win with this injury report? It's insane. And it's happened the past 3 years. Look at this injury report. Zach Ertz now joins the injury report. Didn't practice this week because of a hamstring. You can't make this stuff up. But we're going to put it all on number 11 again. And, of course, if anything goes wrong, our just amazing local media is going to completely blame him and try to turn you against him. It seems like Ike Reese is the only one that hasn't done that so far. So, look, this has been a piece basically defending number 11. I'll do it. He's my guy. He's my quarterback. I bleed green no matter what, and I'm going to back this team no matter what. There's a lot of football left to be played. They have a soft schedule. Dallas is just really bad. They shouldn't be, but they're really bad. Their coaching sucks too. They lost to the Patriots this week, gives us a little bit more hope, and they play the Bills tomorrow at home. They will probably beat them, but as long as we just win out, I think we'll be good. And I think that we can do that as we get healthier. All this offense has to do is get healthier to get Carson's confidence back up, and then we'll be rolling. So look, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Thank you to all my subscribers. Enjoy every single carb that you get tomorrow. Hopefully, by some miracle, the Buffalo Bills beat the Dallas Cowboys tomorrow. We can enjoy Thanksgiving just a little bit more. I've taken up enough of your time right now. Go Birds. Let's get this win Sunday, and I'll probably do a live stream before that. So be on the lookout for that. Again, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I'm pretty sure I addressed everything that I needed to, and I think the rant was well worth the wait. So see you guys. Happy Thanksgiving. Go Birds.